Before I begin this AEW Dynamite review, I want to take this time to thank all of you that have reached out to me in these last couple of days since the news came out that I tested positive for COVID-19. I appreciate all of you that have wished me a speedy recovery, that are keeping me in your thoughts and prayers. It really, really does put a smile on my face to know the people that care. Just to give you guys an update right now, I'm doing well. 3 days in the last 3 days, I've had more sleep than I've had in the last 10 years. And that says a lot. What I have been doing these last 3 days is cooking, obviously, watching some Netflix here and there, and playing a lot of FIFA 21. I did say that my plan was to catch up on all the wrestling that I have missed. And I'm still working on that. So there's that too. But again, all of you that have reached out and all that stuff, I thank you guys. I appreciate all of you. I love you all.
I'm Tyrone, and you now tuning into the Hill Stevens podcast. Because if you ain't tuning in, I'm fucking your girl, long dick style. And that's non-negotiable.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is your AEW Dynamite review for December 2nd, 2020. Winter is coming. Winter is here. If you go outside right now, it's cold as fuck outside. So depending where you're at, define your take on winter, if you will. But anyway, I thought this show was good. Yeah, I thought this Dynamite was pretty good. Holy shit. Normally when I review Dynamite, I say that the show is solid. I say that the show is there. I say that the show was hit and miss, but this was actually a very good episode of Dynamite. Yeah, no cap. A good episode of Dynamite. More than anything, this show was very, very newsworthy, if you will. A lot of things happened to make you want to look forward to watching next week, but more importantly, and I thought I would never say this, but this episode of Dynamite got me to look forward to watching Impact this coming Tuesday. Yes, when I say newsworthy, I'm meaning that there is a working relationship, so it seems, between AEW and Impact Wrestling. Yes, you did not hear me incorrect. There's some sort of working relationship right now between AEW, All Elite Wrestling, and Impact Wrestling, formerly known as TNA. Now, when AEW formed a year ago or so, when you thought about working relationship, the first thing that came to your mind was AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling. Well, you don't have that right now, but this is a start, if you will. This will just do. We have a new AEW World Champion and Kenny Omega. Not only that, but we complete the heel turn. He's now a full-fledged heel. But also, more importantly, it's Sting. The Stinger is back home to TNT. That's right. Sting is now All Elite. So there's that too. And I'm going to get into all these topics as well in this review, but if you are new to the channel, hit the subscribe button down below. Give the video a big old thumbs up. Share it through social media. You can follow me on Twitter at HeelSteven. I was tweeting throughout Dynamite as well. Keep that in mind too. I was tweeting throughout the show in case you missed it. So the show kicks off with the Battle Royal. The fucking Battle Royal to determine who would face off next week for the AEW Diamond Ring. And I thought overall for Battle Royals, it wasn't a bad Battle Royal. Listen, Battle Royals for me, it has a soft spot in my heart. They really, really do. Yes, there's been some terrible Battle Royals in the past. I'm not saying this Battle Royal was amazing, by no means necessary, but I found it entertaining. I really, really did. Some of the spots that have happened here in this match, Matt Hardy eliminated Isaiah Cassidy. Created to think that, again, Matt Hardy has taken Private Party underneath his wing and has mentored them, and here he is eliminating one of the members. Again, it's a Battle Royal, anything goes. We see the continuation of Matt Sydal, my bad, not Matt Sydal, of Sean Spears and Scorpio Sky. That feud is still going. For whatever reason, it's still fucking going. But it's something for Scorpio Sky to do, something for Sean Spears to do. Sky eliminated Sean Spears. Somewhere after the whole thing happened, Tully Blanchard gave Sean Spears the fucking metal thing that he puts in his glove, and he attacked Scorpio Sky with it. That caused the elimination as well. Miro was on fucking Rampage, eliminating people left and right. Hangman Page had, I thought, the best thing on the in the match with the Dark Order. Literally, Silver and Reynolds thought that, hey, Hangman's part of the Dark Order and shit. And it looked like Page was going to go over the top rope, but the entire Dark Order saved him and shit, just so he gets eliminated eventually by fucking Miro. I think it was, or Matt Hardy. It was Matt Hardy. And again, Miro looked like, again, someone that was, again, on fire in this match. But eventually, it came down to the members of the Inner Circle that were in this match. You had Sammy Guevara, Wardlow, and MJF, and then you had Jungle Boy, and then you had Miro, right? Miro gets eliminated, which surprised me. Also, you had Orange Cassidy, who was on the outside because he got attacked and shit like that. And this led to, Miro gets eliminated. Jungle Boy works from the bottom here. He gets eliminated by Sammy Guevara because MJF threw them both over the top rope when they were both at the top turnbuckle. So there was that too. But it came down to Orange Cassidy, Wardlow, and MJF. And Wardlow gets eliminated by Orange Cassidy. So next week, we're getting Orange Cassidy and MJF for the Diamond Ring. Now, when I heard about this match, I thought, okay, we're just going to have this match to crown the new person to own the Diamond Ring. I did not expect, okay, next week we're getting these two guys to go at it, and then the winner of that gets the ring. No, I wasn't expecting that. So I felt a little bit misled here. That being said, it should be a fun little match. Orange Cassidy, in the eyes of the AEW fan base, is over as shit, so I really would not be surprised seeing him win. But then again, this is AEW, this is the Inner Circle, so there's that too. There's that. From there, we go to Chris Jericho versus Frankie Kazarian. And my, oh my, can we just talk about the fact that Frankie Kazarian hit a Spanish fly, the flux capacitor, that's the appropriate name for the move, on Jericho. And Kazarian is like 43 years old. And he's still hitting this fucking move like he was in his early days in TNA. I remember he hit that move years ago in TNA. I think it was to Kurt Angle. Many, many years ago. That's how old I am, basically. But yeah, you get the point, though. Okay? They wanted you to believe that there's this whole issue with the Inner Circle. Because there were moments where Kazarian got all these near falls, right? There's a moment where Kaz locks in the walls of Jericho, or the Boston Crab. The Boston Crab. And you have MJF coming down with Wardlow ready to throw in a fucking towel. Ready to throw in the towel. And Sammy tries to stop him. He grabs the towel, but Jericho turns around, assuming that it's Sammy who's throwing in the towel. All of this, again, distractions. Eventually, Jericho hits the Judas effect for the 1, 2, 3. And there's this whole argument. There's arguing happening in the ring. Jericho says, listen, we all got to work together. Either next week we all get along, or if not, the inner circle breaks up. So that's the ultimatum. I don't think it's going to happen. I think it'll be silly. I've enjoyed that video that they did in Vegas for what it was worth. I enjoyed it. But other than that, I don't see them breaking up. I just don't see it happening. It's kind of too soon, but eventually they're going to lead to that, though. But I just think it's too soon. From there, we go to, where else here? We have a interview with the Young Bucks, who are the AEW Tag Team Champion, with Alex Marvez. And they talk about next week, it's the Young Bucks versus the team of TH2, which is Angelico and Jack Evans. Even though it's not for the tag titles, but let's say if they do win, they can get a shot at the tag titles down the road. And then they get interrupted by the team that's called the Acclaimed of Max Caster and Anthony Bowens, who I've seen wrestle before live at WrestlePro. And they're grabbing the Young Bucks book that's on Barnes & Noble, Killing the Business, and they started rapping. Or Max Caster starts rapping and shit, which was whatever. All this leads to the Young Bucks getting attacked by TH2, and there was that. Again, it hypes up the match for next week. It should be a fun match, all the fuck you want. But I don't see the Young Bucks losing here by no means at all. But at the same time, what it does, it introduces a new tag team to the tag team division. And Anthony Bowens and Max Caster, who I don't think are getting a shot anytime soon. Again, it's cool that you're introducing new tag teams. You have this tag team that the Acclaimed. You also have the team that wrestled the Young Bucks last week, whose name I already forgot, of Airborne or something like that. Again, if I'm butchering the name, someone in the chat, please correct me, but it is what it is, okay? We also get a backstage interview of Brit Baker. She talks about how Thunder Rosa doesn't belong in AEW, and as the face of the division, she has to keep things clean in the entire AEW women's division. I'm gonna say this right now: Brit Baker grew on me. She really, really has, and I thought I wouldn't be saying that shit, but she really has grown on me as a heel. Good for her. Good for her. We have Brit Baker versus Lila Hirsch. I thought this match was kind of sloppy, in my opinion. For what it was worth, they had Reba outside. She got attacked. Again, for what it was worth, too, Lila Hirsch was just there just to be a body. You knew she was going to lose, and she did. And after this, Thunder Rosa came out, and they started brawling. Thunder Rosa and Brit Baker. People were coming out to break this shit up. They can't have control of this shit, and they're still going at it. They're fighting it out. Lila Hirsch lays out Reba again, a rebel, whatever the fuck you want to call her. So there's that. I mean, listen, if the writing's on the wall here, can we just say that Thunder Rosa signed to AEW, even though I know she's signed to the NWA for a longer term, but hey, the writing's on the wall, okay? You think about it. From there, we go to the tag team match. AEW TNT champion Darby Allin and Cody Rhodes versus Ricky Starks and Powerhouse Hobbs. I'm sorry, but that's a stupid name. Powerhouse Hobbs. We just call him Hobbs. I know he was Will Hobbs at one time. And I know he's turned heel and he's aligned himself with Team Taz. I get that. But can we just call him Hobbs? Why? He's Powerhouse Hobbs. No. It just sounds so stupid to me, if you get what I'm saying. And the match for it was cool. But I felt like this match became like, what's the word I'm looking for? A catapult for something bigger that happened later on after this match. So this match ends with Darby hitting the coffin drop on Ricky Starks. And after this, Team Taz have the upper hand. They're attacking Cody. They're attacking Arn Anderson, right? They're about to hit, I think, Arn with the FTW title. And then out of nowhere, the lights go out. The lights go out, and you see this video package pop up on the Titantron. And it's snowflakes, it's ice and all that shit. I'm like, oh, crap. It's Glacier. I literally thought it was Glacier. And then, no. It's Sting. Sting shows up. And Tony Schiavone, I ain't gonna lie to you, the way he introduced Sting, I lost my shit. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I lost my shit. Because it brought back nostalgia. It brought back, to me, back in like 2001, back in the early 2000s, in the mid-90s, if you will, seeing Sting in WCW. The fact that Sting is back on Turner Network, on TNT, after being gone for like 19 years, that's crazy. That's insane. It's awesome. It's fucking awesome. Now, it was reported that next week he'll be there to speak. Tony Schiavone will conduct the interview. So it's like a homecoming. Secondly, it was reported as well that Tony Khan has signed Sting to a multi-year contract with AEW. Now, with all that being said, let's get this out of the way. I think AEW will treat Sting better than WWE did. WWE treated Sting like, okay, just a guy from WCW. That's it. That's all he really was, a legend, what have you. We can say that we had him. We put him in the Hall of Fame. We had him merch and all that stuff. Awesome. We put him in a video game. Good. That was it. But doesn't change the fact that Sting is someone that's in his 60s. I think he's 60 years old now or so. The fact that he signed a multi-year deal, listen, I don't want to see him wrestle every single fucking week. That's what TNA did wrong with him. They had him show up every single week. It made him feel like a regular person on the brand and not made him feel like a legend that he was supposed to be treated as. That being said, I know he's going to wrestle a match. That's fine. Just one match, and after that, I'm good. Also, I have no issue with AEW making Sting an ambassador. That's how he needs to be treated. And that's what I hope happens here. But we'll see. Again, I think it's cool. The way it happened, all that shit was awesome. But I don't want to see this guy wrestle every single fucking week. That's just my thing. I don't want to see them giving him a fucking title. Yes, I thought it was cool too, him having that stare off with Darby Allin. Jim Ross said, I believe Darby was at one time a young Stinger, but that is what it is. So we'll see how all this pans out in the upcoming weeks. We find out that next week is going to be MJF and Orange Cassidy. The winner receives the Dynamite ring. The Inner Circle's Ultimatum. The Young Bucks versus the Hybrid 2 in a non-title match. Dustin Rhodes versus 10 from the Dark Order. FTR versus the Varsity Blondes of Griff Garrison and Brian Pillman Jr. I'm pretty sure Brian Pillman Jr. is now signed to AEW once his MLW deal is done with. We have Abaddon also in action. We also have Lance Archer and the Lucha Bro versus Eddie Kingston, the Butcher, and the Blade. And also Sting will speak next week. Speaking of Abaddon, we have Hikaru Shida being interviewed backstage with Alex Marvez. And this whole thing is that she is afraid of Abaddon. She hears noises in the background and starts being afraid again and decides to leave. She wants to do a redo, but they're live. This is not Botchamania. So there's that. From there, we also get a video promo of Jon Moxley. It says today felt like a holiday. People showed up early, dressed up more in suits. Moxley thinks there's a little something extra in the air tonight. Moxley says 2 years ago, this was just an idea. Moxley says most people thought he was burned out and done with. He then slapped the wrestling industry in the face. He says he and Omega are the two best wrestlers in the world, and the stakes couldn't be higher. He continues, there is only one thing left, and make everyone go absolutely bananas. We then go to the AEW World Title match. Kenny Omega versus Jon Moxley for the AEW World Title. Don Callis from Impact Wrestling was on commentary. And I gotta say, the match itself was pretty good. I enjoyed it. Everything about this, the back and forth. What I did not like, and this is just me being picky with it, all the fuck you want. They're both in the middle of the ring and they're sitting down on chairs and they're slapping each other. I didn't like that. I thought that was hokey, it was corny. But everything else was cool. Awesome. The V-triggers from Kenny. There's a moment where Moxley does a paradigm shift or the death rider, whatever the fuck you want to call it, where they're on the outside and Kenny's face hits the heater. Because again, it's cold as shit. People think that Florida is all year round, it's a warm weather, but no. It gets cold too in Florida. And I can tell, listen, I wasn't there, but I can imagine people that were sitting there in Daly's place, they were freezing their asses off. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah, they were freezing their butts off. Sitting there for fucking 2 hours, 3 hours and shit. So they felt that cold. May not be crazy like over here, or let's say Chicago or Boston or, you know, in the mountains area, but it was cold. They get cold in Florida too, just saying, okay? But all this is happening, right? Kenny's head hits the heater, right? They call for the referees to come in. Don Callis leaves the announce table to check up on Kenny. Moxley proceeds to grab Omega and continue beating him in the ring. Callis grabs a microphone and says that he's hurt. Omega's hurt. The referee's wondering why is Callis even on the apron area or by the stage, if you will. Moxley goes on to attack Don Callis. Callis goes down. The microphone apparently flies out of his hand and lands in Kenny's hand. Kenny then proceeds and hits Omega with the microphone. Moxley gets hit by Omega with the microphone, right? Moxley's head's bleeding. And all you see are these multiple V triggers. And then a one-winged angel and new AEW World Champion, Kenny Omega. All that was missing is Jon Moxley. My bad. All that was missing was Don Callis grabbing the microphone and just screaming out, "Hook the leg, hook the leg, hook the leg." If you ever watched the Omega and Okada match, I think it was from Dominion. I think their fourth match or whatever the fuck. Yeah, the fourth match I think it was. Right? And when Omega won the title, Don Callis on commentary was just screaming out, "Hook the leg, hook the leg, hook the leg." But that was just missing for me. But other than that, after the match is over with, they haul ass. Omega and Don Callis, they haul ass. You see everyone in the back like wondering what the fuck just happened. Tony Khan, like he was smiling. They're trying to sell this whole thing that Tony Khan was angry, but he was not. They're leaving. Marvez stops them, wondering what just happened. And that's where Callis says, "Hey, you want answers? Tune in Tuesday night, Impact Wrestling on Access TV." So there's that. What we know is that Kenny Omega is going to be on Impact Wrestling this coming Tuesday. Now, to my understanding, they taped all their matches and all that stuff for the remainder of the year. There could be a possibility they can edit a video clip of Kenny Omega, right, in the limo explaining what happened with Don Callis. That's what I see happening here. The idea that Kenny Omega is going to be in the Impact Zone in Nashville is not happening, right? Now, do I see here, like I mentioned before earlier, a working relationship? Yes. How? I have no clue. Again, Impact already finished taping a lot of their shows for the remainder of the year. Could this mean that we could have some of the Impact Wrestling talent show up on Dynamite? Like the Good Brothers? Gallows and Anderson? Someone like Chris Bay? Dashing Chris Bay, who will be competing in the in the Super Junior tournament coming up for New Japan? If I'm butchering the name, I apologize, okay? I've been out of the loop on a lot of shit, okay? Oh, there you go, in the Super J Cup. There you go. Or do I see someone like, I don't know, Deonna Purrazzo or Jordan Grace show up on Dynamite? Could be. I'm not saying it's not possible. It's very possible this could happen, all right? But this is what we're seeing right now. An AEW and Impact Wrestling working relationship. Now, if you're someone that's into promotions, crossing together, working together, then this is your cup of tea. But I think it's crazy, it's funny though at the same time, that Impact Wrestling fans and AEW fans are complete opposites of one another. And they're going to be working, the companies will be working together. Let's see how this plays out. I know one thing. I'll be watching Impact this Tuesday, meaning I'm going to have to sit here, watch on Twitch, right? And listen to Melissa Santos on some shitty audio, be annoying as fuck. This is why I'm going to be muting her, mute Josh Matthews, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, I thought Dynamite was pretty good. Winter is Coming was pretty good. Likely, this will get a high rating if you're AEW. This is the rating they're going to get. I don't know what it is, but I do predict that Dynamite does win in the ratings this week. Now, granted, I didn't watch NXT yet. I know there's a pay-per-view coming up. There's a takeover coming up this Sunday. I'm likely to watch NXT in a little bit and then do a review tomorrow and then do a prediction sometime before Sunday. That's my plan. All right? But if you are new to the channel, hit the subscribe button down below. Give the video a big old thumbs up. Share through social media. Again, all of you that have reached out to me in the last couple of days. I appreciate it. I love each and every one of you. I am going to continue to give the vid a one-sided beatdown and be at 100% sooner than later. But until then, guys, follow me on Twitter at HeelSteven. And as always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, y'all, I am Steve, and this has been another edition of Around the Point.
I'm Tyrone, and you now tuning into the Hill Stevens podcast. Because if you ain't tuning in, I'm fucking your girl, long dick style. And that's non-negotiable.